Hey girl, I'm going to give you a quick tour of how I set up my Comp 2 for last summer and like the timeline and stuff. So, I get content. I have the course info tab, obviously, with like the stuff. I break it up into unit. I don't know how anybody else sets it up. But I break it up into units. So, I'll show you how I do it. So like for unit 1, I would, like, this is for my unit 1, and you don't have to do this, I'm just showing you. The first week I do like I make a video about the syllabus and the addendum. I do that as a separate video, just to give an overview of the policies and stuff. And then I make them do like an introductions discussion post. I'll show you the discussion board. So I make them do some discussion things. And the first week of introduction, I just do like, a little paragraph, like introduce yourself, that kind of thing. And I do make them comment on each other's posts, like to comment on 2 other people's posts, just so they are incentivized to read it. So let's see if I can, like, oh, that's just one person's. Yeah, so it's sweet. And the nice thing is about doing the introductions is like you get to know about them just a little bit more, and they'll also like share the name that they want to be called by, because sometimes it's not the same on D2L. So I have them do a discussion post that's due like pretty fast, because that way I can verify their attendance. So I do, how many discussions do I even have? I don't know if I do 10 or something, but I usually have at least one discussion per unit. And then if you got the library thing, like Kyle or whoever will post their library stuff. But yeah, so I do a discussion post for the first week. I try to make it really like that organization as clear as possible, just because this is their only thing they're working with. So I do like a main module for each unit, and then I do like a weekly sub module that has like a list of stuff they need to do that week, and it's here, course welcome videos, that's just the rules, and instructor addendum, the course welcome video, I do like a tour of how everything's set up in D2L, because sometimes they don't get that immediately. And then I do a video of the addendum and that kind of thing. So I break it up by week. I don't have them, like on Monday, do this, on Tuesday, do this. I just do it per week. That way they can do it kind of in their own timeline as long as they're done. I just make sure, like, if something has an actual due date, that I've posted that as well. So yeah, I just do like a to-do list kind of thing. The way I do that, and I don't know how much you know about D2L. Let's use one that's not. It's like, you can make a submodule stuff. And it'll do that. And if you go to the submodule, where is it? If you go to this, I put the date I put the like to-do list in the description, so that like if I click on unit 1, it like if I click on the submodule, it's there, like they don't have to look at like a document or a separate web page or something like that. That way what they need to do that week is pretty clear. And then within that week, this is so chaotic sounding too. And then within that week, I'll link the discussion board, or I will link the assignment. I do all that stuff down here. If there's like stuff that I want them to, like, if they're, this week has a lot of like random little stuff, I try to put the links in order down here, just so that they can look at it. But yeah, I just trying to make it like content be adequately reflect everything they need to do, and then be, have the assignments linked and that kind of thing. So yeah, I do a little short unit at the beginning, 2 weeks on that. The week one is really just like 2 days. So, take that with a grain of salt, but I do schedule it by week because it helps me keep it straight. And then if you teach this course in the future, you can just like export it and change the dates a little bit. Again, this course is different because it's only 9 weeks, but yeah, so week and a half kind of for unit one, then 2 weeks for poetry, and then let's see how I have it, 3 weeks for short story, because that's where I do poetry first, obviously, and for poetry I don't make them do the research component, but short story I have to introduce like the research stuff, so that one has 3 weeks for it. I don't remember drama. How many? Okay, that one's got 3 weeks as well. So that's like technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, hang on. Wait, maybe it's not. Oh, it's like 11 weeks, not 9 weeks. I knew it was weird, something like that. So yeah, so it's 11 weeks. How random is that? But yeah, so I just, I organize everything by weeks because it makes more sense to me. Yeah, so that's kind of how I set it up. Like watch this video. For my videos, what I do, and you may be able to see these on my YouTube channel. They're not great. They're just super informal. So like for drama, if we just started the drama unit, I would, no bells and whistles. I would just like pull this up and I'd say, hey guys, here's the drama. We're in drama this week. And here's an overview of like the things you need to read and the things you need to do. And then I will do like a separate video if there's some like lecture component or, other things like that. But I do think having the overview video, especially if they're like, mine are usually like 7 minutes. It's not like they tend to watch it a little bit more. I mean, obviously some don't, so you definitely want to have like firm due dates and policies really clear. But yeah, so I do have I don't have a weekly overview video, but I do have one for each unit where I kind of like give them the lay of the land of like what we're looking for and how we're going to analyze stuff. I also make so yeah, 1, I make videos for each unit. 2, I make videos for each essay assignment, like the instructions to go over it because they don't read it kind of. I mean, some people do, but that way I can kind of explain things and head off questions pretty early on. And then let's see, where was it? Like up here in poetry, I have a video about reading poetry, and over here, like, I have a video about like abstract and concrete, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't tend to, in a literary toolbox one, I made this document that's like, oh my gosh, where am I going? Sorry, this is so long. The literary toolbox doc is kind of my answer for some of the stuff in the textbook if I'm not requiring them to get the textbook. And I'll send any of this to you if you want it. Oh Lord, D2L. But I have it set up and like here are terms and that kind of thing, and I kind of go over this. It's not I haven't made a PowerPoint of some of this stuff. Maybe I should, but I just show them that this exists. Other things you can do if you're working around the book. So obviously like PDFs of different readings and that kind of thing. Poetry is really easy to get the poems for. I just make poems. I change this document all the time. I just make a whole poems document like this. So I just make one big Word doc that has random poems in it, so that it's not a whole bunch of different links. And I tell them to, read all of them. But yeah, so I just make it into one big document so that they're not like, so I just think it's probably easier. Yeah, so yeah, short story and drama when I do research. Unit 5, the original work. Everybody loves this one. If you want to do something creative, at the end, they really get into it, and there's some cool stuff. And that's kind of this thing where if you try it and it doesn't seem like AI, it's just like you get 100. So that's kind of like the grade booster for this. Another thing I do to kind of supplement for not having a textbook is this module where I have links about different writing things. So like writing about literature, brainstorming style, all of these links, now the literary toolbox, all of these links I use come from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill's Writing Center. Somebody, I think Nona, like somebody here showed me this or shared it with me or something, but it gives a lot of decent tools for looking at stuff. And if you just click on the thing, it has like tons of different stuff. So if you want to, have one about conciseness or parallelism or whatever, they have a lot. And I think it's pretty user-friendly and accessible for students, which is cool. But yeah, so I supplement not having a textbook with like the literary toolbox document, and obviously like videos that I make, but also having a section about like the writing process and different things like that is pretty helpful. I have MLA formatting, that kind of thing. So yeah, I would set it up by week. I would have a video for each unit. And like, yeah, I can like download any of this that you want. I don't know how to get you. I don't think they can like add you to this at this point. But yeah, it tends to work pretty well. Thing with online, is you're going to get a lot more emails. If the stuff isn't pretty clear, like that's why I set it up like this. If it's not clear, they're going to email you just nonstop. So you will, and that's fine and normal, and you'll see an opportunity to maybe make something more clear. But yeah, you'll get more emails. I tell them that I check D2L like once a day, because they'll email you on D2L. But so I just try to like be available, because that's something with online classes where it's like, is anybody actually here? So yeah, so I make sure to email them back. I make sure to have little videos about a bunch of stuff. I also let's see, where is it? I also post like lots of announcements. So I post one for each week, just like with little reminders about things, or like, here's what you need to do this week, and encourage them to go look at content, and just like anything that's kind of random that I want to share with them, like, hey, you need to do this differently. Make sure you do this on your short story essay. Like, this is important. You need a thesis statement or whatever. Like, that's where I do that. So I think one of the big things with online classes is what you will learn is called instructor presence. So like if they know that you're like checking it and like posting announcements, and you've got some videos and stuff like that, it tends to go a lot better. So yeah, it's just, check it is a big thing with it. But yeah, so if you want anything from this, let me know. I also do not pile on the reading. I think for short story last year, I just did I only gave them 2 short stories to read. I think 3 is a better number, but these are both really long, kind of long for them. So I wouldn't do like, here's 8 short stories to read or something like that, because they're really not going to. And also in this kind of squish time frame, you don't want to give them 10 hours of reading and then a essay the next week. So yeah, I try to keep their reading down to like a couple of hours. For drama, I think I did this thing. Yeah, I just did Fences and Trifles. I also, like, if you decide to use Fences, there's a movie that's really good, and I use Trifles. So yeah, I don't do. I want to give them options to write about that are showing different literary elements, but I try to be realistic about what they're actually going to do, because I feel like if you over assign like 10 readings, which other people here do, people kind of start feeling like a failure, like this is way too much and I can't do it, and I have a job and I have kids and all this, so if you can make them feel like, oh hey, I successfully read this, I think that's probably better, right? So it's like a fine balance. You will probably get a lot. There's almost always like older students in these. I don't think you have a lot of dual enrollment people over the summer. So like you'll have traditional students, but generally you'll also have people who have like jobs and kids and all of this as well. So, I always try to be flexible about things and not too harsh about things being late or whatever. But yeah, so you're probably dealing with people who are like pretty busy, which is another good thing to do for the introduction, because then you find out like kind of who's who and what they're doing, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's all. I think if you have questions, you can call me. Or email me. I am sorry this was so long and that I am so scattered, but hopefully it was moderately helpful at least.